Hi everyone, Io Johnson from Fortress Mindset. This morning I put out a short on YouTube and I got some messages sent to me whilst I was in the gym. It was very early this morning, I think it was about 5 a.m. I put this message out on YouTube. And there's a clip of a talk that I did in Sweden. And in that clip, I talk about Neville Goddard, who is arguably, for me, one of the greatest authors that ever lived, for me personally. There is a part in his book, The Power of Awareness, where he talks about thought is the coin of heaven. Now, I find that to be a very, very powerful statement, because it is emphasizing the power of our thinking. There are books that are written about thinking. The most famous one is Think and Grow Rich. It's not hustle and grind and grow rich. It's think and grow rich. So it's emphasizing the power of our thoughts. So during that talk, or in that clip on YouTube, the short, I said, if your thought is the coin of heaven, then your attention is the currency with which you pay. We're told to pay attention when we're doing, for instance, if you're going to surgery, you would want the doctor to pay attention on what he's doing. But the question is, how often do we pay attention to what we're thinking? We get gifted, two of the gifts that we were given as human beings are the gift of mind and speech. Now, for the sake of this video, we're going to talk specifically about inner talking, okay? So I said about, are we investing or are we spending our thoughts? Because when we spend, we deplete, but when we invest, we grow. What does that mean? Let's say something undesirable happened in the past, maybe in childhood, or losing a job, for instance, as I did once upon a time, many, many years ago. There was a very long period of time after that where I was going back and thinking about that undesirable event, whatever it was. It could be anything. Maybe it's to do with a person or a friend or whatever it is. And the thinking was my pattern of thought was going back to that event, wishing I had said X, Y, Z, wishing I had behaved differently. And also in doing that, I was rehearsing the past. And I was also thinking, if this happens again, I'm going to say this. Or if this happens again, or if I'm put in this situation, I'm going to do this. That is what I call spending thoughts, because you're spending thoughts on things that you have no longer any control over because it's in the past. And then you're rehearsing thoughts about something that may or may not happen in the future. That's spending. So what's the difference? Now, investing is how we grow, right? So we all like to see growth in investment. We all want to see growth from our investments, don't we? Yeah, that would be a good thing, especially if it's financial. Yeah. But when we invest, like for instance, let's say someone watching this wants to become an actor. Let's use the acting profession. You want to become a famous actor, all right? And let's say you've got some disappointments in the past with auditions. Rather than go back and think about those disappointments, the investment would be to spend the majority of your inner speech, your inner talking, on rehearsing the role that you want to be. How often do we practice the role that we want to be in life? I'm using acting because one of my favorite quotes is from Shakespeare. He said, all the world is a stage and we're all actors, and each actor plays many different roles. So when you see an actor, like for instance, let's say Russell Crowe in Gladiator. You really believed that he is Maximus Decimus Meridius, yeah? Because he rehearsed that role so well and he played it so well that you do believe that he is the general of the Felix Legions, commander to the armies of the North. I love the film, so I can almost quote that scene word for word. But my point is this: how often do we rehearse the person that we want to be in our lives? You see, because the body always adapts to what it repeatedly practices. The brain doesn't really care what you want. It delivers what you rehearse. If you rehearse resentment, fear, worry, or scarcity, you become better at expressing these feelings. We're simply just, by doing this, we're training the wrong things, and then we become emotionally fit to experience these things on cue, just like that. And this is why some people can experience massive success without any problems, and other people have success and then they self-sabotage. It's because of their inner talking. They hadn't trained their emotional baseline. The first person would have trained for abundance, whilst the second person trained for survival. And this goes back again into the training in the mind. What are you rehearsing on a day-to-day, thought-by-thought basis? Are you training for abundance, or are you training for survival? This is why resilience needs training. We need to do this over and over and over again. Whether you're aware of it or not, you're training for something. The question is, what are you training in your thought processes? Because in that short, I spoke about we are gifted 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And a lot of these thoughts we're not even conscious of. So my method, my discipline, daily discipline, is about conscious thinking. What am I thinking about? And I made some notes on this because I wanted to make sure that I get this point across. So whether aware of it or not, you're training your emotional baseline every day through your thoughts, your posture, your self-talk, and your habits and your attention, where you focus your attention. It's all rehearsal. It's all rehearsal. The goal is to become internally capable of dealing with uncertainty. Now, I like to think about this as a thought-by-thought training. You train your mind, you train your mouth, your mind, and your mood. And I'm going to end this with a quote from Neville. He wrote, "If 1 hour from now you are not assuming you are the person you want to be, then you have forgotten. You are the hearer, not the doer. The doer acts because it is an art, a great art. You must first of all acquire a nice method that suits you and then constantly practice. So every moment of time you have the opportunity to practice who it is you want to be. That is how you invest your time and your thoughts, as opposed to spending time and spending thoughts. Invest this precious gift that we've been given. Invest the thoughts, invest the time in who it is that you want to be, whatever it is that you want to become. Find the time in your mental space not to worry about what has been before or anticipating what could happen. You have to be the version that you want to become. Be it, do it, and then you will have the rewards of whatever it is that your heart desires. It's all reps. Repetition, repetition, repetition. It's training. I hope you found this video helpful. Well, thank you.